Welcome to Let's Be Frank.
Welcome.
We have a new face today, although not new to most of the guys who watch this podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jason.
Usually on the other side, like I said.
Yeah, Jason does our editing, so if you
that.
have issues with it, that's the guy you have to speak to.
Come beat me with a stick or whatever,
yeah, so we decided to do a bit of a different podcast today. We want to talk just about art and stuff.
Yeah, that was the meeting invite.
And that's how we decided to invite Jason, because he's into art and stuff.
I wonder where the focus will turn out, on the art or the stuff.
The stuff, maybe a bit
art
of
and
both.
stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know where to start with all of this. I mean, we spoke about it very briefly yesterday. Just with regards to where I sort of got into everything. And like a funny little anecdote about when I was younger is that my mom always used to tell me, I was always drawing and all of that, but I could never colour in the lines. And still now to this day, I'm still not great at colouring within the lines for some reason. But yeah, I mean, that was something that I was always busy with as a youngster, and then sort of strayed away for quite a few years, and then ended up going when I moved over to the UK. I wasn't really interested in art at all there, but there was a couple guys that were busy with graffiti at that time, and that's where it sort of like picked everything back up for me, which is quite interesting, and it's sort of kept me going since then.
So is graffiti your first love when it comes to art?
No, not necessarily. I just think it was the one that sort of sparked it all back up in a way, and it's sort of been the more constant one out of everything. I've done painting and sketches, pencils, all of that type of thing. But it's always just something that I've got on the back of the mind or whatever. And when I'm doodling and that type of thing, that's what it is. 9 times out of 10. Yeah. And I didn't pick up a spray can until I was probably about 16, 17 or something like
Legally.
that. No, illegally, legally, all of that. Like I was always drawing it, but then I never actually put paint to wall, and started doing that with a mate, and carried on, and it's sort of been something that I just do as a hobby here and there. And I mean it's a nice little release, for lack of a better word. Sort of gives me a bit of freedom just to go and do whatever, not think about your day-to-day stuff. I mean, that's just defocus, and that's it. So I know.
So I read up a little bit about the difference between graffiti and street art, because I think the two terms are kind of used interchangeably these days.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a better understanding of what the difference is between the two. So do you lean more towards the graffiti side or more towards the street art side?
Probably more to the graffiti side, but on the...
I don't know the difference, so you're gonna have to explain that to me first.
So I mean, your street art stuff tends to be your, lack of a better way of saying it, like the stencils you see up, and a lot of the murals and whatnot, they'll sort of refer to that more as street arts, and then your graffitis, your letters, and
the simple one is words, graffiti, pictures, street art.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, there's some other things in there that sort of differentiate the two, but cool.
But now that it's become more mainstream and more accepted, I think that there's also kind of the two styles blend.
100%, yeah.
And there's some really wonderful stuff out there.
It's amazing, yeah. Like I said to you the last time, I was go check out like Braamfontein and all the way through town, because a lot of the guys have opened up their walls to people there, like to do legal pieces, and it's amazing stuff that's going on there. Yeah.
You've got some pieces, legal pieces.
No, a lot of the ones that I do now is like commission based stuff, so for guys' businesses and that type of thing, people's rooms and
Will you put a few pictures up?
Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I can also just put a link to my YouTube as well. I've got a couple of videos of
that'll
the
be
sort
nice.
of process of it, which is also quite cool to see. Yeah.
How do you come up with ideas for what to draw?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a whole nother story. But I mean, I suppose the same way that most people will find inspiration, go and search the net for similar kind of ideas, take what you want out of there, sort of adapt it. I mean, that's how I've always learned how to draw things or paint things or whatever it might be, is actually picking up someone else's thing, almost do an exact copy of it, and then say, okay, cool, now I know how the forms of it work, let me do my own, and then obviously evolve it from there. That's generally what I'll do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is art a talent or a skill?
I think initially it's a talent, and then to actually hone in on it, that's where the skill comes in. Because, I mean, you can be super talented in your head. I mean, I know myself, there's these things that I've got in my head, I'm like, oh, that would be great to draw up or sort of create, but there's no way that I can actually create it. Not right now, at least.
Without honing the skill.
100%, yeah.
So I wanted to ask if you've had any input in the designs of your many tattoos.
Not much, actually, yeah. So, I mean, I think I've mentioned to you before about this as well, with like tattoo artists, I usually tend to say, let them do what they want. I mean, that's their job at the end of the day. They know what's going to work better. Give the sort of general idea. Like I want, like on here, the octopus and the skull or whatever, and then he does the rest. I don't know how tattoos work exactly, so I'm not going to put the input.
Someone asked me if we could talk about how FiveFriday feels about tattoos in the workplace. So I think it's quite obvious how we feel about it. Sitting
It's a wrong crowd to ask.
Yeah, I know
It's also an art form that has really become mainstream these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, a hell of a lot more acceptable than it was, when, like, for instance, my mother and whatnot was in the workplace. Yeah, and I think obviously as time goes on, also, like, I mean, still a full sleeve might sometimes be looked at a little bit funny, but I think, like, as time goes on, it's going to be quite normal, not sailors and pirates or whatever that have these.
Yeah, but the art. I mean, there's some incredible artists out there that do phenomenal stuff that you wouldn't have thought was possible, I think, 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's really evolved. So I want to talk a little bit about art in the workplace. Forget the body art in the workplace, but how do you, I mean, you're a graphic designer, so you draw pictures.
Well, that's
my
job title.
I draw pictures.
Yes. So, but how does the art kind of fit into the workplace and in your job? Because it's not as simple as being a graphic designer, being drawing pictures every day. But there's definitely an element of it that you bring into the work.
Yeah, for sure. So I think one of the main things, I mean, I was trying to think about this question a little bit yesterday, and I think it's almost become one of those like unconscious things that just comes through with what was the way that we explained it that last time, that conscious incompetence and all that.
Unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence,
unconscious competence, that's the one. Yeah. So I think it's one of those things. It's just with what I've done over the years, and with the bit of training that I've had, in college and in school and all of that, it's just become something that's almost like ingrained in me, whether it be composition of what we're doing, color usage and all those type of things. It's quite difficult to say like how it actually works in there, because I mean, it's not like, oh, okay, cool, I'm creative, I can do it, and that's it. I don't know. I think it's a difficult question to answer, but
so creativity is not limited to art.
Yeah, and you guys spoke about this the last time. Yeah.
So, because I often see you sitting with a pencil or pen and a piece of paper, and you'll be sort of doodling. Is that kind of, okay, I need some inspiration for the project or the thing that I'm working on at the moment? How does that work for you?
So that for me, a lot of the time, it's almost like a concentration thing. If I don't have a pen in my hand, I feel uncomfortable and I'm not focusing enough. So if I've got a pen in my hand, even if I'm just thinking about something, if I'm going drawing, something will come up. Generally, I mean, sometimes nothing happens, but yeah. I mean,
end up with a
I end up with a cool picture that I can cut out or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it generally helps to spark maybe that idea. So like, I mean, when we were doing these presentations the other day, there was also a couple of times where I just came to a block. I was sitting there going, what am I going to do for this slide or this, image that we need to portray? Go and sketch a bit and then go, there we go, that's something that'll work. And then I can go and do my digging and diving to find the right elements that I need.
Guess what the answer was?
What?
To that particular conundrum that he was explaining. No, I couldn't find an image. Guess what's in the image? Stormtrooper.
Does it have sunglasses on?
No, it's not cool.
It's not a cool
No, it's not a cool stormtrooper.
Yeah. So it's just the way that you kind of focus and kind of how you kind of get to the inspiration. Other people may get up and walk out and do other things. You sit and doodle.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's almost become just a habit more than anything. I mean, you won't see any of my notes without some sort of picture on them.
Well, me too, but my picture's on as pretty as yours.
Yeah, but it's just something like, I mean, also what I said to you yesterday was if I'm listening to a video, so like with that course I'm doing now, there's a lot of the videos where they just talk you through a lot of stuff. And I'll sit there and I've got the headphones in and I'll just draw, and I don't know, for me it feels like I take it in a little bit better. And then when I'm reading notes, I'm like, okay, I want to like sketch while I take in the notes, but I can't because I can't actually read the notes. So, yeah, it's just one of those things that helps a bit with concentration and the ideas as well.
I mean, we've learned through some of our brain things that we've been doing and we've spoken about on the podcast that a picture really does help you to remember a lot more than words do. So it's quite a cool concept that maybe while you're doodling, while you're listening to the course, that sparks your memory of what you were learning.
It just like ingrains it in, yeah, for sure. But I mean also like when, taking notes and that type of thing, like we've also done it with those brainstorms, actually physically writing something down or drawing something about it tends to spark the idea. I mean, we've seen it a couple of times trying to come up with ways of doing things. I mean, it's all well and good talking about it, but until you actually put it down, it's a different ball game. Yeah.
So, Jason, if anyone who's watching this is interested in getting into graffiti, where do they start? Build as well.
Pretty much. But I mean, like also, it always starts with a sketch as well. I mean, you can also, I mean, I've done it as well, going up to the wall, just saying, cool, gonna do whatever today. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But 9 times out of 10, you got a sketch, you go up to the wall, you go and you start painting it. But I mean, it's just practice at the end of the day. I mean, pick up a can, go see what it does.
The nice thing is you can always paint over it if it's not good.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's never really a permanent.
Which is kind of a pity with some of the of the real cool graffiti and street art that you see out there. You know that those things are not going to be there forever. And you look at places like Melbourne, Reykjavik in Iceland, massive street art culture, and it's encouraged by the authorities.
Miami's also got the ones what's it called, Wynwood walls or something like that. Also incredible stuff. But the communities basically said, okay, we've cordoned off this section, and it's brought up property values there. Interestingly.
Yeah. But I think in some of those areas, those things have a lifespan of a year or 2 years. And then there's a new festival or a new expo or whatever, and they will paint over the walls, and it will then be gone. Unless there's a photo of it somewhere.
Which is not the same.
I mean, that's an interesting thing with the sort of world we're living in now with social media, especially. I mean, the guys, whether it be tattoo artists, graffiti artists, or whatever, they've all got their, like, Instagram is a big platform for these guys at the moment.
Yeah.
So even if you never see that thing again, if someone lasers off the tattoo, paints over that thing, they've sort of got a record there, which is
not the same as a
it's
a
not
piece
the
of
same.
physical art. that
No,
you
for
can-
sure.
And there are some guys that crossed over into regular art, I
yeah,
suppose. It started out as street artists and crossed over.
yeah,
But yeah, some really cool stuff out there.
yeah.
Jason, you did promise me a while ago that you're going to look into a tour that we can go do.
Yeah, yeah. I'd sent out the mail. I must go and follow up again.
In Johannesburg.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cool.
there are guided tours that you can go and do where you can go and check out some of the more
Yeah,
popular
Nice.
pieces.
Yeah, I think that'll
there's
be cool
there's
for
some
that.
really big murals up
yeah,
that have been done by international artists, and then obviously the local scene is also quite
Yeah.
vibrant. You get Cape Town guys and Durban guys coming up and collaborating with Joburg guys. So some really cool
Yeah.
stuff.
guys put some amazing work out
Yeah.
there, so it's worth a look. But yeah, I'll follow up on that and get back to you.
We'll go on a tour.
Yeah,
Cool.
sounds good.
Thanks for joining us,
Yeah,
Jason.
thanks guys. Thanks for that.
Well, if people like you, we'll ask you back again in the future.
If we get a whole bunch of thumbs down, then I'll know I'll stick behind the keyboard there.
But thanks, guys.
Yeah,
and if
awesome,
anyone
thanks.
else wants to join us and chat to us about something that they're passionate about or that they enjoy, passionate,
We have a list that
Yeah.
that we're working
yeah.
through.
So
Crossing them off.
please chat to us.
Mm,
Thank you.
cool.
Thanks,
guys.
Jason.
Thanks.